All right. Welcome back to our live stream. We did a live stream yesterday and we tried to do the simultaneous live stream, multiple live stream via Facebook and YouTube. And today we're going to talk about the CEO's secret and secret to commanding the room. Okay, so first is you need to stop being the quiet expert in the room. So most of our students, they have 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years of experience. But when it comes to communicating in the boardroom or with foreign clients, they tend to freeze and they don't know what to say or what to say next. And yeah, there's this tendency for non-native speakers to have the fossilized uh, some accents are being fossilized. So when they are trying to communicate with another boss or a business partner, they tend to freeze and they don't know what to do. So they panic. And aside from that, while they're trying to process the speech or what the other person is saying, so they're processing it, and then another person is trying to barge in or trying to communicate, and there's a lot of cognitive load, and it gives you more stress. So if you're the big boss, you can sound like a junior if you don't know what to say or how to influence other leaders in your space. So we would like to stop being the that quiet expert. So you want it to show if you are an expert in HR or you've been doing HR consultancy for 20 years, it should show with how you communicate. Or if you are a master of marketing, or if you are in the IT management, so it should show when you are communicating with the top management or other bosses or other CEOs that is uh, that has a potential to be your business partner or coworker in the future. And there's a difference between functional English and executive English. So with the photos here, when you're trying to explain yourself, it's like you're just trying to explain what you do, like being a junior part of the operation. So you just explain, here's what I do. I take care of the data, and then I copied and pasted these formula in the sheet or Excel sheet or Google sheet. So that's what functional English means. So there's a difference between functional English and executive English. So for executive English, you try to get more connections and expand your network. So it's like you communicate with other leaders. So it's more of influential. So you want to have an impact or influence. So let's compare that with a teenager or a kid. So, for example, functional English, your parents ask you, okay, so what did you prepare for our lunch or our dinner? So you will say, oh, I prepared some vegetables like broccoli, and I cooked the rice at around 180 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. So you just report, okay? So that's functional English. English. So you just told them, like, you gave them the data, like what did you do now, versus someone who can show more direction. So for example, there's this teenage kid, and then he or she will say, hey, mom, dad, today's Friday, so let's go out and buy some pizza, or maybe we can go to a buffet because it's Friday. I finished all of my homework. I did the household chores, and it will be fun. It will be great. So that's influential English. So imagine you're not just giving data to your parents, but you're giving them the feeling like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. So we also want to relax. We came from work, so it will be a win-win. So my child or my daughter or son will enjoy. At the same time, I will also enjoy. So there's direction. So that's influence. Okay, so it's not just trying to give out the details, like details that they don't really care about, like cooking the food at 180 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. So that's junior. That's very junior. But influence is like you try to propose something that will work uh, both in your favor. So if you're a kid, you would like to enjoy going out and not just stay at home, and you already finish everything. So it shows that you became like a responsible teenage who's willing to to go out with your parents and have a great time. So that's influential English and executive English. So there's a difference. You expand your network and influence and try to influence other leaders. Okay. Now, I've met people, or we have interviewed students online, and they have many years of experience, but that experience can be hidden by a slow speaking rhythm. So imagine you are a student and your teacher or mentor is trying to ask you, hey, what are you working on? So there's this project that you're working on. You're very excited. And then suddenly you don't know the right words to describe that project. So you don't have the right choice of words. You try to impress by giving out like big words or complex words. But in reality, you cannot express like what you're trying to convey. So sometimes your speech pattern, so if you don't know the right words, it interrupts the momentum. So your teacher is very excited or they're eager to hear about your project, but you cannot fully say or fully tell the story of your project. And sometimes you're getting the gist of it, so you're getting to the point, and then suddenly you forgot. So that increases the stress to the listener. So for example, it's my first time to be in this country, and I'm trying to communicate with you. Of course, my ear is totally like I have a foreign ear, so I'm not used to the way how the native or the local people are talking. So I don't know how to decipher the words. So my ear cannot just interpret what you're or translate what you're trying to say. So it will give me more time. So that kills the momentum. So example, you're trying to pitch for an app. You're selling this app, and then suddenly in the middle of your uh, pitching, you forgot the words. So you forgot the choice of words. So that interrupts the pitching or the elevator pitch. For example, you just have like a few seconds or a minute to pitch your idea to the other investor or other leaders. So that affects your years of experience. So your years of experience will be gone if you cannot express yourself well or clearly. Now, there are three pillars of the rhythm of authority. So, in our executive English, we have this rhythm of authority. So, since I was a music teacher like many years ago, so I was able to decode this style of speaking. Like you don't rush things. So it's like playing a song, playing the guitar or a song. So there's a right timing to get to the point or deliver your idea. Like in the past, we tried singing the song of John Lennon. Imagine. So you notice that Lennon does not rush things. So he's using the executive pause. So number one is directness. So cutting the Tinglish or Thai English filler words. So try to be direct. So instead of saying, I think we should do this because, you just say, we're going to implement this. We're going to implement this policy. So you're very clear. You have a command. Number two, strategic pausing. So don't underestimate the power of pause. So using silence to command the room. So there are times that you need to deliver like what you want to deliver, and then once you deliver it, pause for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. So it's like, let that sink in. All right. So for quarter three, we dropped sales by 15%. And then pause. Okay, so you let the numbers sink into your colleagues. Number three, tone control, removing the rising tone of uncertainty. So if you're not sure, normally you use the up talk, like, is this the plan? So this is the plan, something like that. But you say, this is the plan. So downwards. Okay, the tone should be downwards to sound more authoritative. And power of pause, directness, power of pause, strategic pausing, and tone control. Try to make it downward instead of up top. Unless that's a question, if you're asking a question. Is that true? Okay. But when you're trying to state something like, this is the plan or this is the report, you don't say, this is the plan. You say, this is the plan. And this is the result of our testing. All right. So before we end this, let's do a recap. Let's do a recap. So stop being the quiet expert in the room. Learn to deal with your colleagues and future teammates or business partners. Functional English is just trying to say or state, giving out data without influence. Executive English, you try to give your 2 cents, or you try to give your opinion in order to convince other people. So you influence other leaders and establish a great network. Okay, 20 years of experience or years of experience can be hidden if you have this slow speaking rhythm. So if you take a lot of time in order to get the right word when you're trying to pitch, or when you're trying to convey something or trying to give out information, the thought process of your listener, it's being interrupted. And we don't want that. We want it to be spontaneous, and it's like they have a grasp, a clear grasp of what you're trying to say or your point. Then the three pillars: directness, strategic pausing, and tone control. Okay. Don't underestimate the power of pause. Be direct instead of, I think we should do this, because you say, let's implement this policy. Let's implement this plan. Tone control. Avoid rising tone or up top. Try to use the downward tone. Like, this is the plan. Or you don't say, this is the plan. Something like that. All right. So if you are serious with your English proficiency and you would like to practice influence, you can book your free 15-minute audit of your speaking style. And you just scan the QR code on the screen, and you can also click the link in the description below. And of course, you can always learn with our free videos, but YouTube or Facebook video cannot evaluate your speaking style, so it cannot hear you. So it's still important to have someone to guide and coach you and tell you your rhythm. Okay, and that's it